sometimes a bit of a tough area to talk about, but mental health. I know you're a big supporter of it, and you've got a fantastic thing set up across your YouTube channel, bringing people together to support one another. Tell us how that works and how it come about.
Yeah, so 7 years ago, just over 7 years ago, I lost a friend. He took his life, and I couldn't get my head around why. I was like, well, you know, he had everything to me in my eyes. So I started to learn a bit more about mental health, and through another friend, he was passionate about it, and he did what's called a Nuffield scholarship, where he travelled the world looking at aspects of mental health, particularly in the farming community, and he's now a trained psychotherapist. Anyway, in some of the things he'd done, he travelled to Australia, New Zealand, and different things. Anyway, when he was in New Zealand, he found out that the dairy out there that collects the milk trains the milk tanker drivers to spot signs of poor mental health and depression in the farmers, because some of them farmers, the only person they'll see week on week is the milk tanker driver, because it's, you know, you're remote. Yeah. So I was really interested in some of the things he was saying and how to help people, and one of the main things is just people talking. And I was like, we need to do something. So we set up these Are You Well Aware workshops, and the concept of that was we invited people to them that would go to farms on a daily basis, whether they be vets or feed reps or things like that, and to teach them to spot the signs and what to say or what not to say. Get people to open up and talk, because that's the best cure, if you will. So through doing that, I started to learn a lot about mental health as well. And one of the stats, if you will, from these workshops we were doing was the biggest lie in the world is I'm fine.
When you ask somebody how are you, they reply, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine. It's you know, I think
the reality of it is they're not.
Yeah,
they're crying inside.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. You know, after I've read the terms and conditions, or you know, I love you, it's the biggest lie in the world, or before it. So I thought, well, it's so simple. This, you know, if you answer as a percent. So how are you today? You know, I'm 60%.
And scale it on a 1 to 100%.
Yeah. You know, I'm 100%. You know, 100%. No, 100%. You know,
perfect.
Great. Yeah. But I think if anyone's lower than about 70, you can say, well, you know, what's the matter? You know, and then you might find, oh, you know, I'm having a shit day. This has gone wrong. That's gone wrong. You know, the dog's died. And then generally there'll be someone who'll be like, well, yeah, well, I've not had the best day actually, now you come to mention it. And then people just talk a bit more. It
started them talking. Yeah, I think that's where it's your YouTube channel has become a brilliant platform for doing that.
Yeah, so
communities together.
So what I try and do is encourage people to, you know, answer each day how they're feeling, you know, and put it in, and I'd say to the other people that are watching, you know, read the comments. If someone's a bit lower percentage, you know,
because whether we admit it or not, we all suffer somewhere down the line, don't we? You know, we have good days, we have bad days, we have medium days. And it differs all the time.
79% of people will at some time suffer poor mental health.
Really?
But everyone will still have days when they're not 100%. But to an extent where it can affect the sort of day-to-day functions, you know. Yeah. I can't be bothered getting up in the morning, you know, that kind of thing. So I learned a lot, and at the time, my friend, when he took his life, I just couldn't understand why, and we didn't see any signs, but it's because we didn't know them. You know, like... You weren't looking for the signs,
We
weren't looking for the signs, but the fact that, you know, he'd send you messages really late at night, it was because he wasn't sleeping. You know, you think, oh, he's just because he's still out enjoying himself, but it wasn't. You know, he was at home on his own. Yeah. You know, and he had such a huge circle of friends, so I hadn't seen him for a few months, and it was only when we got together after it had happened, and we're like, well, I've not seen him for a few months. And he'd completely gone off radar. Okay. But because he had such a big circle of friends, we all just thought he was with Jono or he was with Dan, you know, and that was the thing.
It's very sad, it's very sad.
So 7 years ago now, and the guy that services my combine, so David, my friend that took his life, me and him had a big passion for big combines, you know, like the last machine I went to buy, so he came, I've swapped it now, but he came with me to buy it, and got talking to the mechanic who was getting it ready for harvest, and he said, my friend did the same thing. It's like, we need to do something about this. And we're like, oh, you know what we should do? It's a big problem, it's a big machine, it's the length and breadth of the country. It's not just farmers. They have it a bit worse because they have to deal with the weather and low prices. I said, we need to drive a combine to John O'Groats to Land's End. You know, everyone does it on a bike, but it's not very visible, is it? So that's where the idea come off. But he was getting married the next year.
And this is the combine run that
this
you
is
do
the combine
as well
run.
as the tractor
So
run.
yeah. So we were like, right, we need to do it. And it took 7 years because we've had COVID, we've had fuel crisis, we've had wars, you know, we've all this kind of thing. Anyway, we're doing it this weekend. We're starting.
Okay.
So the combines arrived. We've had it wrapped. So we're doing it for the Mine charity.
Yeah.
And then the manufacturer of the combine, they've got a charity that they choose each year. And this year it's children with cancer.
Okay.
So we're doing it for 2 charities, so you can go on the Just Giving and pick which one. And we're hoping it'll take 4.5 days to drive from John O'Groats to Land's End. It's nearly 900 miles on a combine.
Wow. And how fast does a combine harvester go?
It does about 26 mile an hour.
So I'm trying to do the maths now, over 900 miles.
Yeah, we want to try and average 200 miles a day.
200 miles a day.
The first day's 230
Has a
miles.
combine harvester ever driven that far in a day? Because you have a field of a mile square or whatever, and it goes up and down, etc.
Not that we're aware of, no.
Okay. So that comes with its challenges as well as...
Certainly not in the UK. I mean, there's kind of mechanical challenges as well, because no one's ever tested it for that long on the road.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
It's on tracks, so we don't believe a track vehicle's ever done it either. The problem we've got as it stands today is the weather's forecast to be really warm. If you've got an air temperature of 22, you can get a tarmac temperature of like 40.
And the track chew it up?
Well, no, it'll overheat the tracks.
Okay, yeah.
So that's...
What'll that do, cause them to skid, or...?
They might just like snap and fall off.
Because normally they're going through boggy fields.
Yeah. So, you know, you're normally up and down soil, it's quite, there's no sort of impact.
Yes.
Whereas this is obviously on hard tarmac.
Yeah.
A lot of heat going to be generated because they're constantly moving.
Tracks on it, yeah.
So you know when you play with an elastic band that gets warm? Well, essentially it's a huge elastic band.
Yeah.
But the reason it's on tracks is so it's narrow enough to fit down the road.
Okay.
But only have a light footprint. So you've got this huge surface area touching the road, which is great for the soil, but it's not great for generating heat.
Yeah.
You know,
okay, so that's a challenge.
So that's one of the challenges. And then the fuel as well. So we're using renewable fuel, so you can't just get it anywhere. It's basically fuel grown in a field from vegetable oil.
You have to shuttle that alongside it in vehicles to top you up?
So what we've had to try and estimate, which is quite clever actually. The manufacturer have what they call telematics on the machine, so they can log into everyone's machine, see the fuel economy use and the fuel use. So they compared 56 machines to the same model of how many miles to the gallon they were doing on the road. Yeah. And we worked out that we should use about 1900 litres of fuel. So we only really need to fill up once, but we don't quite know where. So to make it easy, we've filled up now. Yes. And then we're going to fill up at Lockerbie. So A.W. Jenkinson, you see the trucks with the trees on the side that cart all the wood chips. So we work with them on the farm as well. They've got a power station up at Lockerbie, and it's kind of like a third the way. So we're going to call in next Monday, I think it'll be, and we're going to top up as much as we can fit in.
And is it just one combine harvester?
It's just one combine and an escort vehicle. So we've sticking my car up and put all the flashing lights on it, and then we'll then top up again at Adam Henson's in the Cotswolds. So he's got a farm there, and he's putting us up for the night because he's got these lodges. So we're going to stop at Adam Henson's, you know, off Country File. Yeah. Refuel, and then that should take us to the end, which is Land's End. And hopefully we can meet a truck, put it back on a truck. We'll head for home, and then the combine then heads to Nottingham, where there's a big agricultural show on the week after, and the Wurzels are going to be playing on a stage next to it.
Next to it?
Yeah, oh, so after day some, we've got a brand new combine harvester, so it should be good fun. But the main thing is raising the awareness and getting people to talk and answer truthfully how they are each day.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we're hoping that, you know, BBC Breakfast, I think, are going to cover it, which would be nice. It'd be nice if they'd cover us every day of where we've got up to, but we'll see.
That would be good, wouldn't it? So the main aim is obviously to get any form of media support, isn't there? Radio, TV, etc., following the story on a day-to-day basis. Anyone locally all over the country supporting it on social media as well, posting out about it and sharing what you've done and what you're talking about it. And the 2 charities you said, Mind and a children's cancer charity, was it? All them details, we can find them on your...
Yeah, if you follow any of my socials, the links are on there. It's I think if you go into Just Giving and put in Jongle, which is John O'Groats Land's End. Okay. Joggle it's called.
Joggle.
Yeah.
Joggle.
It'll bring it up. So like we've really used the Just Giving page as a page.
Yes.
So all the information's on there, because I've got loads of people saying, oh, what time are you going to be here? What time are you going to be there? We don't know yet until we can see what pace we can make on the first day. But what
You'll be talking about it on a daily basis on your blog.
We'll be
anyway,
doing
so
some
if they're
streams.
following that, they can keep up with you.
We're going to try and get some people in the cab as well and do kind of what we're doing now as well, chat to people. But the other thing is, the clever thing with the machine is it's got this telematics on it. So if people can download the manufacturer's app, they can track us and see exactly where we are and the speed we're doing and the fuel we're using and all this kind of stuff.
Good modern technology for it.
Yeah, so for kids it's great because they can really see a lot of the tech that we're using nowadays in farming.
Brilliant. Okay, so what date are you setting off on that, did you say?
Sunday the 4th of June at 5 a.m. in the morning.
5 a.m. Sunday the 4th of June, and a guide of an estimated finish day?
We're hoping Thursday afternoon of that week, so is that the 9th?
Yes.
That's the plan.
Brilliant.
We hope we can keep to that schedule because we've basically booked hotels each night.
Yeah. And are you going to do shifts driving it?
Yeah, so there's a team of 4 of us, so that we can rotate the driving round.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of like do 2 hours of the car, 2 hours of the combine, and just work it
rotate
round.
them.
So you'll do 2 hours maybe on the combine, and then you'll maybe do 2 hours in the passenger of the combine.
Yeah.
And then you'll do 2 hours in the car, and then 2 hours of the passenger in the car, and then just all rotate. So everyone gets a rest.
Silly question, but how comfortable is a combine?
It is pretty comfortable, to be fair. Yeah, it is. You know, it's got climate control. There's a few people on the farming forum who are like, oh, if you're going to do this, why don't the money it's costing to do it? Why don't you just give that straight to the charity? But that's not the point. It's the raising the awareness. The raising the money for the charity is the byproduct of raising the awareness, and you know that's why we're doing it.
Yeah. And it's encouraging more people who are maybe suffering and feeling a little bit down at whatever scale or level they're at, talking more.
Yeah,
That's and the key thing, isn't it? Is getting them to communicate.
And as soon as people heard about what we were doing, there was so many people come forward wanting to sponsor it. Like everyone's like, oh, can we pay for your hotel rooms? You know, or Adams Henson, or we'll put you up in our farm lodges. You know, Certas Energy, we'll provide the fuel because you can use our renewable fuel. You know, and that's a massive cost.
Brilliant.
You know, you know, we thought it's going to cost us thousands each to do it.
Yeah.
But in reality, everyone's come forward, and we're nearly over sponsored, so that's then gone straight to the charity as well.
Yeah.
The insurance company, I rung them up to see, look, you know, are we insured on our normal policy for this?
Yes.
And they were like, look, we'll make sure that everything's insured. And also we have, I think it was £7,000 a year we give to charity. Each office gets given an allocated amount. They were like, we're splitting it between 2 charities, so we want to give you like £3,500 as well.
Lovely. That's amazing.
So, you know,
what insurance company is that called?
NFU Mutual.
Brilliant.
So that they've been really on board, and like I say, loads of other people like the banks and all this, they've been brilliant.
Brilliant.
So
It sounds great. Sounds like well, certainly a great challenge for you all, that's for sure, and of course for a good cause as well.